Why do Hebrew roots believers call Jesus Yeshua? There is no mystery here. Our Savior was a Jew, born to Jewish parents, who lived in the Jewish Galilee region of the Holy Land. It was a thoroughly Jewish traditional society and culture, and the Hebrew faith that he practiced. Now, obviously, the names Jewish families gave to their children were Jewish names, not English names or Greek names. In fact, the name Yeshua was the second most common name used for Jewish males in the Jewish community in that era, the first being Shimon. Jesus is a purely English word and name. English wasn't even an identifiable language until around the 14th century, some 1,300 years after his birth. See, Jesus is derived not from his given birth name of Yeshua, but rather from the Greek and Latin. And the reason we find Jesus as the standard is that it arose from a Gentile religion created by Constantine and his bishops of Rome that fashioned his name and his character from a Greek language and a Greek cultural viewpoint. A religion whose basic tenet was to remove themselves as far as possible from anything Jewish, and therefore the Savior had to lose his Jewish identity and adopt a Greek Gentile identity. Yeshua is his undisputed Hebrew name. There is no credible debate about this among Bible scholars. Yeshua is not a translation of Jesus, but the church is totally unfamiliar with his real name, winces when it's used, or even denounces those that use Yeshua's real name as Judaizers or heretics. Rather backwards, actually. From a purely practical standpoint, Yeshua is certainly as easy to pronounce as Jesus. Just as easy to use to spell, but it has the advantage of using his real, actual birth name. It is that it acknowledges both his Jewishness, his historical culture, in other words, intellectual honesty. By Christendom refusing to do this, they remove him from his birthright, remake him into either a Gentile or perhaps some kind of universal or generic everyman who has no race, no ethnicity, no family history, and no cultural identity. And once we do that, all authentic background and context for his word, his life, for all that the New Testament says about him, evaporates, as does meaning. It would be very helpful for believers if the contrived name Jesus was dropped and the authentic Yeshua was restored. That said, one ought not to be demonized according to which name they call him and know him by.